Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex. Welcome to my monthly video on the best new editions of board games hitting retail. This is April. I'm sneaking it in at the end of April. This video covers reimplementations of older games turned into something new, just new editions of older games, and new games in a series of established games. So we got a lot of great stuff this month. I'm excited to get into it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you find something that you're excited about as well. Amigo Games is releasing a couple of big anniversary editions. The first is the 30th anniversary of Take 5. This is a card game, actually one of the first games I got. This is a game that helped get me into board games, so I personally have a strong connection with it. In the game, you are playing cards into rows and trying to get rid of your cards first. But if you play something that's like out of sequence, you have to take a row of cards. And it's lightweight, but it's fun number puzzle sort of putting it down. It plays 1 to 10 players, which is always something that was cool. Like it's a game that has a little bit more strategy. It's not a party game that still plays a lot of people. Well, this 30th anniversary includes multiple things. It includes the standard base game. It has cards used in 4 variants of the base game. Those are Even Odd, Mountain Climbing, the Jumping Cow, and Number Spinner. And then it also has separate cards to use in a new cooperative variant. So the one thing that this adds that hasn't been seen before is a cooperative version of Take 5. So if you've never played the game before, it's a game that works for ages 8 and up. It's a really good family game. And if you want to make it cooperative instead of competitive, this is the first time you're sort of able to do that. So thanks, Amigo, for making 30 years. That's a long time. That's 30 years is older than a lot of gamers out there. This game has been around for this longer than a lot of gamers. Amigo is also releasing the 20th anniversary edition of Saboteur. Saboteur is another fairly lightweight game with a hidden traitor. You are playing cards down, creating a path, and most people are playing as dwarves that are trying to get everybody to the gold, and one person is not, and is trying to block you from getting to the gold. But one of the interesting things about Saboteur is you always have one extra roll card than the number of players, so there's a chance that nobody is the Saboteur. There's a chance that everybody's working together, but you still don't trust everybody. You're like, why did you play that card? That didn't help us right now. And you're like, that's the only card I had to play. And you're like, I don't know if that's true. And so if you like sort of lightweight, path building with a traitor element, Saboteur is a good one. This 20th anniversary edition, not only does it have a fancy box, it also includes the Saboteur 2 expansion. It includes the special cards from the 2016 to 2023 World Championships. It includes the mini expansions, Road Customs, Clothes Room, and Stolen Festival. And it has 2 new mini expansions, New Goals and Treasure Chests, and 2 new game variants. So basically all of the content from the last 20 years of Saboteur, plus a couple of new things if you're just getting into the game for the first time. So yeah, that's, and 20 years, not as long as 30, it feels kind of anticlimactic to do this one after Take 5, but still a good accomplishment, Saboteur. If you murder Take 5 and it doesn't keep growing, then you can have the 40th anniversary all to yourself. Blabbi Games is releasing a new version of Blabbi for Barnes & Noble. This is a game that I've actually made some content about before on my TikTok and Instagram channels. It was available through Blabbi Games' website and things like that, but now they've gotten into Barnes & Noble, so they are releasing a new version of the game, sort of exclusive to Barnes & Noble. This version has new cards, it has an updated box, it has an updated rules set, and it has a phone stand to record your pitches. It's a game I like a lot because I am notoriously bad at word games, games like Scrabble or Boggle or things like that. I can't see the words. I don't know where the words are. I'm bad at it. But Blabbi, the whole point of the game is you can just make up whatever words you want. You're sort of doing the, Scrabble, putting out tiles, letter tiles, and building words, and you can build off of other people's words, but you are just using whatever random letters you want. But the fun of the game is then you have to justify the word you've put down according to a category card you have. So if it's like your category is like new workout fads, then you just are like, yes, this Schlottenheimer, named after the sort of, famous football coach Marty Schottenheimer. So Schottenheimer. And so, it's this workout where you're just sort of like getting your aggression out, and you just have to justify it like that. And as long as everybody else is like, yeah, that's a believable thing, then you get points. It's a party game that plays a bunch of people. And if you are not good at word games like me, that I think you might like Blabbi. And it's, it really gives the creativity back to players. I like games where you can sort of bring your own sense of humor, bring your own creativity to the game, and Blabbi definitely allows you to do that. It's very open-ended in that way. Blue Orange Games is releasing the kids game, or the family game if you want, Tap a Bellow. This is a sort of reimplementation of the game Ring It. And so Tap a Bellow has a big sort of bell in the center of the play area, and it's a little bit like the game Spot It. You are trying to find a match from the cards out on the table. You can find a color match, you can find a number match, you can find a pattern match, and if you do, you hit the bell. And so it's all about, it works very well for young kids if you're looking something for your young kids. It's just finding a pattern out there and then hitting the bell. And so, it also might drive parents crazy if you don't want to hear the bell constantly. Ding! It's like your kid is asking for front desk counter service, right? Ding! Mom, I need a snack. Goldfish, please. Ding! But so this one, what's new in this version, it has a whole mushroom bell and forest theme icons, so it adds a little bit more of a theme to the game, and just new sort of look for the bell. The bell does look cool for sure. So if you're looking for something for your young childs, check out Tap a Bellow from Blue Orange Games. CGE is releasing a new version of the game Fish and Cats. This was first released as a game called Katz oh boy. Katz Tuskegee. Tuskegee? I definitely got that wrong. You can put that in the bank. Ding, I got that one wrong. But it was a different game, and now it's Fish and Cats, and it was released by Heidelbar. But then CG is bringing all of Heidelbar's games to the North American market right now. This game is a very silly, lightweight game. Another game that works for kids and families, things like that. It is a set collection game, but you will be literally putting a cat paw over a finger, and then when you are trying to get a card out of the line of cards, you're putting your cat paw onto the card. And so it's very silly. And it's one of those, we've seen this mechanism before where if multiple people go for the same card, then nobody gets it. But if you go for a card by yourself, then you get it. What it changes is just this really silly component, the cat's paws on your finger. And so if that sounds silly to you, I don't know how it couldn't, then that might be a game for you. Crow D Games is releasing Evolution: Another World. This is a new standalone game in their Evolution series. They had Evolution: The Origin of Species and Evolution: New World, and this is Evolution: Another World. Part of the reason for this game existing is this is a bit more of a family-friendly version of the game compared to the other two. Mechanically, it is inspired by the series, but it is, it's easier to get into. It's got more of a straightforward win condition. You can't die, you can't get eaten by predators like you could in other versions of the game, so it's friendlier for kids, so they're not dying in the middle of the game. How the game works is you are creating animals with cards, and you are giving them traits. You are playing animal cards down, giving them traits, and trying to get enough energy to then transmute the animal into something better, into something bigger and better. And in this version, if you transmute 3 of your characters first, you're going to win the game. So there's a bit of an engine building aspect with the traits that you're giving your animals and things like that. The artwork is incredible. It looks super cool on the table. I love the look of the game, and so it plays 1 to 4 players in about 30 minutes, and it is maybe that sort of lightweight plus game, a little bit, but easier to get into for families than some of the other ones in the version, in the series, I mean. Draco Studios is releasing War for Chicken Island Revised 2nd Edition. This is a new version of their game, War for Chicken Island, that came out 5 years ago or something like that. Revised meaning that they have fixed rule books, they've changed it around, they've made cards easier to read. It's still the same game, still the same gameplay, they've just sort of streamline the language and things like that on the cards. So if you've never played it, this is probably the better version to get because they, fixed some mistakes. Plays 1 to 4 players, and it is a medium weight game. In the game, you are commanding a small army of chickens and a leader with special attributes, asymmetric powers, and it's full of combat. You are rolling dice and moving around this sort of very tight area and attacking other people. And so if you like, war games with silly themes or something, this is definitely a very combative game, and so there's no player elimination, which is nice. A lot of us don't like games where you're like, okay, I guess I sit here for the next 45 minutes while you guys all have fun together. It's got, Draco Studios is also known for their really cool miniatures, so if you like miniatures, there's a lot of good ones in their games. Dice rolling combat, move around the board, attack each other. There you go. Devere Games is releasing a new version of Espana 1936. This is a 2-player only war game that is simulating the Spanish Revolution, the Spanish Civil War, I guess is a better way to call it. It's a historical simulation of the Spanish Civil War. And so, an opportunity to learn something about history playing this game. I mean, that's one of the nice things about war games, for sure. In the game, it was originally released in May 2008. And so, you are trying to control areas of the board. You are attacking each other. You are, engaging in combat. And there's a lot of interaction between the 2 players. How does this version differ than the original 2008 version? It includes renewed art, new art, and it includes the expansion, the Armada, in the box, so you don't have to get the expansion separate. It includes the addition of 8 cards for optional use, which add uncertainty to the events in the game. So it is really a true historical immersion game. So if you like war games, then check out Espana 1936. Hachette is releasing a new version of Katamino. This is Katamino Tower. So Katamino originally was a sort of two-dimensional game, was played flat on the table, and it had a lot of polyomino-shaped pieces. Well, now it turns it into a three-dimensional Jenga-style tower. So, you are still trying to place these weird polyomino-shaped pieces, but you are trying to create a cylinder with those. And so there's a ton of different puzzle cards in the game, and the puzzle cards will be like, you have to use all of these blocks. These are the blocks you need to complete this puzzle, and then you have to try to figure out how to build the tower without things jutting out or missing gaps or that sort of stuff. So it comes with a lot of different of those puzzle cards in the game that have different difficulty levels, so you can sort of play this with all different ages based on how difficult of the cards you're using. It plays 1 to 2 players in a 2-player game. It is a cooperative game. You're trying to figure out the puzzle together. And so, again, there's beginner mode, expert mode, challenge cards. There are more than 45,000 unique solutions in total. So there's a lot of different puzzles and possibilities in the game. Incredible Dream is releasing a Kinfire Delves Scorn's Stockade. This is the next in a series of Kinfire Delve. The first of which came out sort of near the end of 2023. I believe it came out in like November, and so this is the next in the series. And all of them play the same mechanically. They have the same rule set, but they all have different obstacles, different challenges, different asymmetric characters that you're playing with. That's one of the most fun parts of the game, is that each character is good at different things and have different play styles. So the original game came with 2 characters. Now this comes with 2 new characters and 2 new asymmetric decks that are going to be interesting to explore. So every version of Kinfire Delve essentially plays 1 or 2 players, and I really like the system. I really like it's a game that surprised me a lot. You are delving through a deck of cards. You are trying to get to the bottom of the deck of cards by beating obstacles and challenges along the way. And only when you get to the bottom of the deck can you fight the big bad, and fighting the big bad is how you win the game. But it is highly cooperative. You really have to work together I've lost a lot of games of this. I've probably lost more games than I've won, but that makes it feel really gratifying and satisfying and exciting when you do win a game, because you are rolling dice and playing cards to sort of beat the challenges that are on the table, and you can also play cards to boost your comrades' actions. I can play a card to make your action stronger, but the rub is, if I have to draw new cards when I am out of cards in my hand, bad things happen when you have to draw cards. And so it's that really interesting push and pull of like, do I want to help you and deplete my hand so we can beat this challenge, or do we take a risk and try to beat it with the dice roll and save cards for later? It's just a really cool system. Small box game with sort of big box strategy in it. So yeah, if you haven't played Kinfire Delve, I recommend any of the versions of it. There will be a 3rd version coming out at some point too. And I suppose you can probably combine the 2 versions if you have it and play a 4-player game if you wanted to, though each box is meant to be solo or 2-player cooperative. Pencil First Games is releasing the Sibling Trouble Expanded Deluxe Edition. This is a game that came out a little while ago, and now this is an expanded deluxe edition, as you might have guessed from the title. Plays 2 to 5 players in 30 to 45 minutes, and it is a sort of lighter plus weight game. It is a card-driven cooperative storytelling game. You want to, and it's kind of gives you that RPG feel. You are playing cards down and then really building a story. You know, you have some guidelines and some rails with the cards that they're giving you, but it's like, you know, oh, you are exploring a cave. How did you find the cave? And you just get to make up, how did you find this cave? And so we're all building on a story together. And so, you know, if you like storytelling, if you like RPG type of stuff, this is an opportunity to get a RPG feel in an actual sort of board card game. So this expanded deluxe edition includes the original game, plus it also includes Chance, a new character. You can play as Destiny, a new mode. It adds 2 brand new locations to the game. You can discover new encounters and bosses for all of the previous locations. There are new treasures and epic treasures you can find on your adventures, and you can continue your journey with new expanded adventures between locations. So just a lot more content to the family weight storytelling game that is the Siblings Trouble. Prolific Games is releasing Cultists and Cthulhu 2nd Edition. This is a small card game, and in Cultists and Cthulhu, you're rolling custom die trying to complete rituals, and you need 21 points in rituals to win the game. But there's a lot of take that in the game. You can take activities that are devoted to harming other players' attempts to carry out their own objectives and complete their own rituals. And so, you know, if you like a take that game where you are attacking each other and preventing each other from accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish, then maybe Cultists and Cthulhu is for you. It plays 2 to 8 players in about 30 minutes, and it is a lighter weight card game. And so, you know, this new edition has updated art, updated look, things like that. So, yeah, if you like some take that in your games, then check out Cultists and Cthulhu. Renegade Game Studios is releasing Axis and Allies Guadalcanal. Renegade Game Studios is releasing a lot of updated versions of the various different games in the Axis and Allies series. So Axis and Allies is one of the most well-known, longest-running war games, and very involved war games, right? You big maps, you're planning out troop movement, you're attacking, you're doing a lot of stuff like that. Well, this version, this Guadalcanal version, focuses on a theater of war, the Solomon Islands in August 1942. So you are either playing, it's a 2-player only game, and you are either playing as the United States or Japan in this head-to-head battle for 2 players. So, you know, this new version includes the classic Allies and Axis and Allies. Oh, I'm allergic to war. But, you know, this includes the classic gameplay, but does have some this version, what changes, it's got updated miniatures in it, it's got airship tokens, and it's got a new rule book that answers questions to a lot of the frequently asked questions that have been asked over the years. It's got 170 plastic miniatures, so if you're a fan of war games, if you're a fan of 2-player games, then Guadalcanal might be for you. So that's it. Those are 13 new additions that are coming out here in the month of April. I hope I try to include all different types of games in this, right? We had some family games, some war games, some cooperative games, and everything in between. So hopefully you found something that you're interested in. If you want to support this retail series, you're always welcome to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Grants Game Rex. So thanks so much for being here, everybody. And thanks so much again for getting me to 10,000 subscribers. It's a really cool accomplishment, and I really appreciate everybody watching and supporting the channel. All right, thanks so much.